Today, we're going to be looking at how to create sermon reels and the best software that I've found for creating these sermon reels. This includes Captions, this includes finding the clips, and it really streamlines the process. So without further ado, let's just jump into it. The software that I recommend is called Descript. So we're going to go right into the software, and I'll show you a little bit of how it works. So this is the software here. Typically, you would create a new project, let's say, and then you're going to want to trim down to where it's just the sermon, and then you would drag and drop the sermon in. And after you drag it in, you're going to go ahead and transcribe it, and it will transcribe the entire sermon and every word that the speaker speaks throughout the entirety of the sermon. Once that's done, you should have a transcript that looks something like this. And this is a great opportunity for you to kind of read through, hand select different clips. You can use AI to sort of scan the text and find a good clip to use. But what I found is it's a lot better if you look yourself through the transcript and find just sort of those key moments that'll stand out on social media. For example, I found one here, and the process is very simple in Descript. Descript is a word-based editor, and what that means is that whatever you edit the text, it will edit the video accordingly. If you delete a word out of the text, it will delete that word out of the video clip. And where that comes in handy is for making these sermon reel clips. So I am going to highlight this right here, and this is what I'm going to use for the sermon clip. I'll go down to about right here. And then I'm going to duplicate this to a new composition. So I'll call this the test clip. And so this is the clip right here. It tells me how long. It's about 38 seconds. And then we can kind of go through and make some adjustments here. So maybe we don't need this section right here. We can just cut it out, and it's removed from the video as well. Let me show you a before. This would be the before.
And probably we need to change, if we were honest, and we do need to change in certain areas.
Okay, and now I'm going to edit that out, and you can see that it's taken that clip out in its entirety.
You need to change, if we were honest, and we do need to change.
So that's a great option right there to just quickly, maybe you want different pieces of a clip. You can highlight a longer section and just cut out the parts that aren't essential, so you can strip the sermon down to make the edits really tight, really direct, and really to the point. Because sometimes in a sermon, they're giving an illustration, but maybe for a brief, 15, 30, 45-second clip, you can just highlight the key points without having to have an extra long sermon clip. So you can just cut out the sections easily that you need. Another great feature that Descript has is it will remove the gaps for you. So I'm going to come up here and let me shorten the word gaps. So this is how I have mine set. If there's ever a speaking gap of a half second or longer, I want to shorten it down to about 0.3 seconds. So that way it just keeps the clip moving at a fast pace in order to keep the viewer engaged. So we want to cut out a lot of that dead space. So half a second or longer, I want to shorten that down to about 0.3 seconds. I literally will just hit shorten all, and it has shortened all the word gaps so that there's no gaps longer than a half second. And so then another thing that you can do is you can remove filler words. For example, we have an here, things like that. You can remove the filler words by just hitting that and hitting remove all, and it's taken them out of the clip entirety. You can see here that it took the out, so let's go back through and watch.
I've said so many times, we wish that we had the ability to.
And so it took the filler words out. So that's a really huge time saver when you're editing these things. And again, once you've taken your clip, you can export it to another video editing software. I've done that before, or you can just add your captions directly inside of Descript, which is really useful. Before we add the captions, let's resize this to be vertical video, because obviously if this is going to be posted as a reel on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, then what you're going to want to do is, of course, adjust the cropping. So let's adjust it down to portrait, and that'll make sure that the entirety of the clips are cropped to that frame. So let's highlight all the clips in the timeline, and then I'm going to adjust this just to fill the screen. And so now we have the clip cropped in. Now let's add the captions. So we're going to click on the text button and add the captions. And it's already got a pre-designed style that you can use, but let's make some adjustments to that and make it our own. So I am going to, let's remove the background. Next, let's change the color of the text to white. And then the background, let's change that to this, let's change it to this light blue color. Let's get somewhere in between. There we go. Let's make sure we add a shadow to the text. Okay, so I've edited the colors of the text to the way that I want them. They will stay sort of this grayish color until the word becomes active. Now let's take a look at the captions.
The Word of God is alive. It's a book that's just as alive now as it was in the day that it was written.
So there you can see that the captions are already added. You can even customize the font that you want. So maybe I want to use this font right here. Then you can go ahead and do that. The other thing you can add is music, and that's fairly easy to do. One thing I like to do is just highlight the words here. Then we're going to grab our music track, and I'm going to drag and drop it onto the highlighted text, and that'll make sure that the music is added to all of the video. Now let me adjust so that I can just see my timeline here. Descript will automatically lower the audio to below the speaking volume, but usually the music is still a little too loud, so let's just adjust it down just about right there. Let's see how it does.
And it's able to change hearts, transform people, and to transform your life.
And so there you go. You have your music added in, and you can do all of your editing right inside of this app. So again, check out Descript. It's definitely the most useful software I found for editing these sermon clips. And if you have any other ideas of software that helped you, leave a comment below. Let me know the software that you use. The pricing on Descript is extremely reasonable. It's about $15 a month. And for all of the functionality that it gives, I mean, you can use this for editing almost any type of video, not just sermon videos. And one of the incredible things is that you can actually export your videos, of course, as an MP4 file, but you can also export the timeline into, for example, DaVinci Resolve. If you wanted to edit outside in another video editing software, you could actually export the timeline and do a little bit more editing. So Descript is all around a really powerful text-based video editor. So feel free to check it out. I'll leave a link in the description below. And if you have any questions, please feel free to let me know. I'm always happy to help, and I'll see you soon.